as to the contracts, we do not have a full overview of the contracts at the moment. We do not. As for the how to define what is Russian gas, what is not, I mean, what we have, and this question was answered as well, that we cannot define by molecule of where each of them are coming from, and this is, per the legislation, I mean, this is for the customs officials who go through the declarations that have to be made by the importers. You referred to that. I think there was a question yesterday that related to the same thing, which is the Russian gas destined to third countries. Obviously, the legislation only applies to EU member states. So Russian gas destined to EU countries is covered. Russian gas destined to third countries is not. And when we say that the regulation, for example, does not apply to Serbia, we mean that Serbia can import for their own purposes the Russian gas. For the moment, on the details of how this will then be put in place in practice, I cannot go at this stage. First of all, because we do not have the overview of these contracts. These are private contracts between companies and commercial contracts between companies, Russian companies and European companies.
Thank you.
I refuse to turn this into a technical briefing on these details that our experts would not give in an off-the-record situation. I hope you can respect that we cannot turn these midday briefings following a technical briefing, following a press conference, to these kind of issues where I've said very clearly we do not have an overview of the contracts. It means that I also don't have an overview of the long-term contracts. So I really hope that we can settle this either in writing, off the record. We'll see what we can do at this stage when we've just given the proposal, and it's now for the co-legislators to go through and to really start going into the details of how this will look in practice, when we will possibly have a better overview of exactly which companies will be affected. But I'm absolutely not able to do this from the midday briefing like this. I hope you understand. I hope you can respect this. I will not explain differences of these things. What I'm here to explain is the position of the Commission on each given issue. So to recall again, in very simple terms, Russian gas destined to third countries is not covered by the phase-out or the ban, if you want to call it that. Russian gas destined to EU countries is. So in the latter case, and the example that you brought in yesterday, the regulation does not apply to Serbia. We mean that Serbia can import for their own purposes Russian gas. So if Russian gas via Serbia continues its way to Hungary, the regulation kicks in, and the Hungarian customs authorities need to check whether the gas that comes via Serbia is of Russian origin or not. And this is unfortunately at this stage the granularity that I'm able to go into, and I'm not able to start making different kinds of comparisons, again, without having a full overview of the contracts that apply at the moment. But this is the legal thinking behind the regulation. When you ask that, how is it possible? And another important thing to remember, we are not regulating the pipelines. We're not regulating infrastructure. This concerns gas and oil.
Thank you.